Hi guys, it's nearly December. Christmas time. I absolutely love Christmas. It's a good time to be with your family. It's good to see your friends. It's good to be there for people. You may or may not know, I used to be part of the British Transport Police, and unfortunately at Christmas time, a lot of people don't have somebody to turn to. People can get very down, very low, and unfortunately take their own lives. Now, I had to deal with a lot of suicides when I was in the police, and it was horrific, it really was. There's been so much bullying going on over the internet lately. One, stop the bullying. Two, if you're being bullied, you need to speak to somebody. You need your friends, you need someone to talk to. I'm going to show you some footage that was filmed about 4 or 5 years ago, just after I came out of the police. It was for my sister's media project, and it's basically an interview explaining what happens and what goes on with regards to suicides on the rail. So watch the video. The quality's not fantastic, it's like 5 years old, but the message is still there and the message is still the same. Let me know what you think. If I can help one person, then it's been more than worthwhile making this video. Thank you very much.
What process did you go through when you were called to a fatality on the line?
Once we get to the fatality, we'd have to assess the scene. We'd have to cordon off the area to stop members of the public being able to see what we were seeing. We'd have to get statements from the members of the staff, any witnesses at all, and then we'd actually have to go and deal with the fatality itself.
How did the things you saw when dealing with fatalities affect you?
Well, the thing is, we dealt with so many of them on a day-to-day basis. You've got to try and show you're the macho man sort of thing. You can't let on that it's actually affecting you, but it does. I mean, you're seeing young kids as young as like 14, 15, running out into the middle of the track, and I mean those trains travel at 100 miles an hour and they're 150 tonne. They take over a mile to stop. I mean, once they've been hit, I mean, there's no going back. You're having to pick up these kids, which you can only describe as like slabs of meat, and then you're having to go and explain to their families that you've just seen their child in a position that you'd never ever want that parent to see them in.
Did the fatalities you dealt with affect you mentally?
They did affect me. I mean, I suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder, and I had to be treated for that. It was affecting my everyday life. I would be speaking to my wife, and suddenly I wouldn't be speaking to my wife. I'd be picking up somebody off the track in pieces. You were there, and you'd get smells and tastes, and you know they'd haunt you. I know there's a lot of people out there that aren't able to talk about it, and I know it affects them as well.
Did the situations you had to deal with affect your family life?
Yeah, it did. It put a lot of pressure on my family life. You get angry at the people for what they've done. I know it was my job. You sign up and you know it's going to be something you do. But when you go and speak to them people's families, and they're sitting there in floods of tears, you try and explain to them that their son, daughter, husband, wife has just stepped in front of a train, and they'll never be able to see their family member again. They'll never be able to see them at the funeral. They'll never have like an open casket. It's just a horrible mess.